What's up, Poland Nation? Steve Leslie, YSNLive.com, your home of Poland football all season long, and proud to be the home of Poland football and playoff round, let's say round two, as the Bulldogs had a bye. They will play Salem on Saturday night, 7 o'clock from Poland High School. We'll have it for you on YSNLive.com. Proud to do the Playoff Coaches Corner with the head ball coach, Ryan Williams, sponsored by WRS Insurance Solutions. And Coach, first of all, thanks for joining us, brother.
Yeah, thank you for having us. You guys do a great job. Anything I can do to help out, I appreciate all you guys do for our kids.
Well, I appreciate that. I know DJ and Brian, the owners, appreciate that. I'm going to start with you, Ryan. I've known you a long time. Pretty proud to be good friends of yours. I'm going to go back to when I remember you got the head coaching job at Poland. I was pretty pumped up that you were going to be given an opportunity to become a head football coach, which is truly well deserved. And my man, wow, from the time you've taken over the head coach of the Bulldogs, you continue to do a great job on and off the field. So salute on my end, brother, becoming a head coach and representing Poland High School very well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And the kind words, and it's an honor to kind of step in and hopefully carry on the tradition. It's been there a long time. It's certainly nothing I've done. There's a high expectation, and everyone top to bottom there works to meet that expectation. I'm just thankful they gave me an opportunity to step in there.
Well, let's go into that a little bit. You had an opportunity. You coached at a lot of great places. You coached with a lot of very good coaches. I guess that's my first question. Do you use some of those things with guys you've been around to incorporate things, or talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, no, I've stolen everything we do. I've stolen from somebody. I haven't invented anything. I do. I love it. Part of it is I'm a history teacher. I like gathering little things and using. I mean, there's nameless things that we've that are part of our weekly regiment that I've taken from Coach Julia when he was at Poland, and Coach Butchie at Cardinal Mooney, and Carl Pelini and Neil Kopp and Brian Fidel, all those guys I've been so privileged to work for. I mean, everything that we do at Poland is just a compilation of things that are part Poland and part what we've all gathered from other places.
Well, that's a great answer. We're with Ryan Williams, the head ball coach of Poland High School. We're proud on YSN to be a part of Poland football all season long, and looking forward to this playoff run. They will host the Salem Quakers on Saturday night. We'll get into that. Ryan, your staff is very important to you. I know that. They do a great job for you. Little shout-outs. Talk about your staff a little bit for the Poland Bulldog football fans.
Oh, it first and foremost, it starts with Rick Denunzi, our defensive coordinator. He's been there with us, for 14, 15 years. Was a good player for Poland. Dedicated assistant coach, does a great job with our defense. Coaching the quarterbacks for us, has a big voice on what we do on offense as well. He's one of, I think, everybody in our program on the varsity is a former Poland player. That was real important to me to get those guys that played there and lived it. And, they do a great job of selling the institution of Poland football, and some of the nuances and traditions and expectations are set by those guys. And Luke Skinner and Andy King and Tony Shiro and Tyler Vallinger, and Jim Vivo's on staff now with us helping out, and Robbie Sonato as well, and just can't say enough about the work ethic of those guys and helping to set the expectation that our kids try to reach.
Well, hats off to your student. I mean, the students, obviously, the football players, but hats off to your staff. I salute all of them. You're very well coached. They put in the time, and I know that means an awful lot to you, that you have guys that you could lean on. And let's be honest, coaching isn't easy. There's no question. It continues to get harder, but you guys do it the right way, and the Poland community and this Poland football team's very well coached. So salute to the staff before we get talking some football and these great student athletes at Poland High School.
Thank you. And one of the things that I really think contributes to that is those guys are all teachers.
Sure.
Tyler and Andy teach at Boardman, but they're school teachers, and Tony Shire is going to be a teacher, and Vivo's a principal. Rick D'Annunzio's great. He teaches our AP stuff at the high school history, and Luke Skinner's a great teacher. I mean, that Robbie Sonato teaches at the high school. I mean, that's important. There's a it's not just what you're teaching kids, but it's the way you're teaching them. And certainly these guys that are educators and, board approved, and they're all great fathers and husbands. And, that's important. That our kids see that and they feel that. And I think that really adds to the product that we're putting out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. And again, hats off to those guys. All right, let's jump into this football team. Right. You had a great year last year, a great run. I've said this to a lot of coaches I've talked to. At a point there, no one knew if there would be football. There's no doubt about that. I jump into this Bulldog football team. We'll get into it. You can talk about the regular season. You get hit with some COVID. I know you missed, I don't know the exact amount, but it was close. Every bit of 2 weeks of football practices and activities. That was a big hit to this football team. But Ryan, I've watched you guys play from that first game to South Range to where you're at now going into the Salem game. In my opinion, this football team has gotten better every week, offensively and defensively. Talk about that a little bit. Talk about the progress from early on until what you see now from your football team.
Well, it's interesting. One of the things, the X's and O's take time. I mean, you gotta be out there on the field. I mean, you were at, Cardinal Moon. I mean, the time that it takes time to develop the on-field product. But I'll be honest, the thing that I've been most satisfied with is the off-field product. You play 14 games last season, and there's a certain amount of expectation you have, but that was last season. We came in this year and got cut short, but our expectation was still there. We had to put the time in. We had to be humbled a little bit. Had to recognize that you got to earn things, do things holistically and start from day one in steps, and you don't just pick up. This isn't the next game. You got to start over again. And so that's been a big approach. And it's, hey, you want to get back there where we were last year. You got to start with your first gap block step. It's the first step. That's where it starts. It doesn't, you don't just pick up. You got to go backwards to go forward a little bit. And we've taken that approach, since we had that setback and the 2 weeks off, and our kids, it took a couple weeks, but they bought in. And I'll be honest, I thought we had one of our best practices today, and that's all you can ask for is just every day getting better. I mean, don't worry about what happened before. Just keep going.
You got me amped up. You got me ready to play already. You got me all psyched up. But that's a great answer. You said a couple things that I don't think the average fan understands that. It's a new year. Yeah, there's no doubt. I'm sure this football team wanted to get back to that spot you were at last year. Your staff wants to do that. But that's a great answer. That just doesn't happen. It doesn't. In anything you do in life, that does not happen. And that's, right, one of the things that, when I talk on our pregame show, I talk on our scoreboard show, I talk about you guys a lot because I see a team that continues to be hungry, whether it's every day at practice or each week at game. You guys look a little different to me every week, not in a bad way, not in a flashy way. It just looks like a group from the offensive line and the defensive line that feeds off physicality, being well coached, and going off of what you said, nothing is given to this football team. It has to be earned. And that's what I see with this football team that you have going into this game Saturday night.
Well, that's pretty on. I appreciate that. I mean, you know what it takes to be successful, regardless of sport, and I appreciate your opinion on that. But I do. I think that that O line and D line had to start. They got to get after each other a little bit. And a little bit. The one's a little bit ahead. The other one's got to catch up, and that makes it that fun week to week. I mean, that's how you get better. You got to compete.
We're with Ryan Williams, the head ball coach of the Poland Bulldogs. YSNLive.com will have the Bulldog game for you Saturday night, 7 o'clock, YSNLive.com. Pregame show at 6:30. You can hop on and support the Poland Bulldogs. Obviously, Ryan, the playoffs are a different situation. A bye week is new for you. A lot of all the high school coaches, there's never been byes. How has the bye week been for the Poland Bulldogs? I talked to people. Some wanted to keep playing, obviously. Some it's nice to heal up a little bit. What's Coach Williams' thoughts about what the Bulldogs were able to do on bye week?
I'm torn between the two. I see it both ways. I love the opportunity that we had a good week of we gotta fix us. We gotta here's all the things we got to do better, and we got a week to focus on that. I love that. It was weird not having that adrenaline and that flow of the week, but we made it through, and it's made it that this week that much better. I mean, I really feel like we've had a great week, and kids are excited to go out and play.
Yeah, it's game week for sure. Tomorrow will probably be a little wrap up for the Bulldogs. Salem will come to town Saturday night. We'll talk about that game here. Talk about some of the standouts on this football team offensively and defensively for the Poland fans out there that love to support this football team.
Offensively, up front, we got a couple guys returning that have a lot of experience. Carter Calgren's going to YSU. He's played his third season for us at tackle. Nate Williams is at center. He's played 2 seasons at center for us. Ethan Franks at the other tackle. He played all of last season and this season as he's a junior. And then we replaced a couple of guards this year, and Dom Saber and Will Davies and Steve Solik have all played there and done a great job. Our skill guys, Jack Fulton's returning, and he's a Division I caliber athlete, playing quarterback for us. He's just a junior. Andrew Senafani, a tremendous athlete, basketball player, got, high expectations for, maybe playing, down the road at wide receiver for us. A couple tight ends that have, a captain and Carmen Pagano and Mike Gordon have played well for us as well. In the backfield, we've been fortunate. We've been able to share time with, Bryce Behringer, Peyton Marakovich and Jay Cottle have all gotten to share some carries, so we haven't really had to overburden anybody. Defensively, we had to replace, all but one on the D-line, and those guys have done a great job. I mean, they've handled, the burden that we put on them, and done a great job. Senafani's in the secondary. Christian Colosimo does a nice job at linebacker for us. Dean Gessler, kind of the captain of that defense at safety. He's a 2-year returner. He's done a great job there. And up front, guys like Eichert and Parker and Maslowski have all really accepted their role and kind of started to become kind of craftsmen there and learn how to play the position. They're not just kids we've thrown in there. They've actually developed into good players.
Well, that's great that you were able to shout out all those guys. So you guys that got the shout outs, all of you, keep doing what you do for Poland Nation. They like supporting their football team. Here's what I like about you, though, and this goes back to the beginning. All the guys that you have coached with, it's still in your blood. It's written all over your face. Football games, playoff style, are won on the line of scrimmage. Is that safe to say?
No doubt. Always, at every level. It's
that's what I love about Coach Williams. That's one of the things that get me going about you. That's one of the things I talk about with all our pregame stuff. Poland will succeed if they win the line of scrimmage. Your skill guys are phenomenal. No disrespect to that all, but I love watching your offense and defensive line play because they get after it and they block and they do things the right way. So Salem Quakers come to town. Coach Johnson's been around a long time. We'll have it for you on YSN Saturday night. You've prepared all week. You've watched some film. Your thoughts on this Salem team? Very good quarterback.
Very good. He's tremendous. A very good player. The thing that he does, it's his kid. It's a head coach's kid. I mean, the thing that he's done is he puts him in a position to be successful. He's not asking him to do things he can't do. He's very good football coach, great pedigree, been at some great programs. So he's not gonna hurt the team. He's gonna just have them do what they can do, and they do it very well. Good skill positions. They got a couple big guys up front that are very formidable, and it should be a good matchup. We're excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. We'll have it for you on ysnlive.com. Coach's Corner with Coach Williams, sponsored by WRS Insurance Solutions, proud sponsor of Bulldog football. Tickets are limited, obviously. That's not easy on anybody for sure, but we're proud for Poland Bulldog Nation and your community be able to hop on for $9.99, watch the game, get some money back to a great athletic department. So we're thrilled from there. But Ryan, I got to ask you, what's your key? One of the biggest, talk about the keys for a big win Saturday night in playoff round 2.
Well, it's going to be time of possession. They're very talented athletically on offense, and if ever there was a game where our best defender is our offensive line and keeping the ball away from them, this will be it. I mean, their style of play is a little different than ours. I mean, they still want to run the ball. It's a little different style, but I think the key is can we sustain some long drives and keep keep their offense off the field and maintain time of possession. It goes without saying that injuries and turnovers are an inevitable factor of the game. But of the things that we can control, it's going to be time of possession. It's going to be maintaining running the football and keeping the ball out of their hands.
There you go, Bulldog Nation. You heard it right from Coach Williams, the head dog of the Poland Bulldogs. That's all it takes, man. Get the big boys up front and pound the rock. Coach, best of luck to you, to staff, obviously, to a great group of kids in this playoff round. Go have some fun Friday night. Hopefully get a win from Salem, and hopefully we can talk again next week with a Salem victory in round 3. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for all you guys do for our kids. We appreciate it. And anything you need from us, you got it, Steve. Thanks, buddy.
Good luck. Saturday night, Bulldog fans will have it for you. YSN Salem will invade. That's my guy right there. Best of luck Saturday night. Go have some fun, Ryan. We'll talk later.